I dream for a day where we will no longer label social enterprises as social enterprises because it is already the normal. That it is already normal giving above minimum wage. It is already normal prioritizing the welfare of people. It is already normal giving more opportunities to those who have less opportunities or the marginalized. So, yeah. And then thank you for this question because I also realized the kind of story that we want to put out there. And I think that's it. That sustainability is the way for progress, and that takes so much political will.
Where lust for a whole life and nothing but less makes people jump out of a comfortable pond into an unknown ocean. Welcome to that journey between the East and the West. Who says Rolling Stones don't gather moss? Hello everyone, I am Meenu Gupta, your host for the day, and I'm delighted to have you join me every week as amazing people share their incredible and inspiring life stories of straddling continents. Thank you.
In a gentle way, you can shake the world, said Mahatma Gandhi many years ago. And today's guest is a powerful reminder of that simple, timeless truth. She dives beneath the surface, literally and metaphorically, to explore what it means to live in harmony with nature. From the coral reefs of the Philippines to the global stage, Aya Fernandez wears many hats: actress, advocate, entrepreneur, and environmental storyteller. Aya leads an eco-enterprise called Eco-Uling, reimagining how communities can thrive without harming the planet. Her journey reminds us that innovation often begins where empathy meets action. Supported by the Bayer Foundation Women Entrepreneurs Award, Aya is one of a new generation of change makers, proving that solutions for our planet can come from the most unexpected places and from people who dare to bridge art, science, and soul. Today, we will explore how Aya's journey echoes a wider global shift, one where imagination fuels social innovation, personal vision becomes community impact, and caring for people and caring for the planet are understood as inseparable. Thank you for joining us today, Aya, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you very much for that intro. It's a pleasure to meet you. Mabuhay from the Philippines, that's what we say here.
Gandhi said, "In a gentle way, you can shake the world." When you look back at your own journey, what was your gentle shake? The moment that shifted the world around you, even in a small way?
Maybe it was a compounding series of soft shake and small aha moments. It started way back when I was in high school. I love science very much, so I graduated from a public science high school. I was a scholar, and I really loved our science research. And our research back then is about turning waste or invasive species called water hyacinth in the Philippines. They clog the waterways in our urban rivers, so that's why they're considered as pests. And we transform them into reinforcement of fiberglass. So in layman's term, instead of using plastic, we use water hyacinth fibers. And then my small aha moments or soft shake moments are dealing with the community, getting to know them, being immersed of their lives, their day-to-day routines. And then that's when you are able to connect the dots that, oh, we can use this waste into a sustainable livelihood. And then from a lens of a high school student, oh, I know the chairman of the town oh, let's create a proposal. This is the cost. So as simple as that. During that time, in my head, I didn't know that it will actually be the one leading me to running an actual startup today. But looking back, it was just that spark of curiosity, love for science, love of talking to the community, asking them how they are, and in the simplest way we can make each other's lives better. So I don't want to say help, but it's just if you've done something that has brightened the day of another person, that's already a small spark.
So, more than a gentle shake, you are saying that it was more of an organic evolution.
Yes, because at the same time, I was the president of the student council or the supreme student government, we call it. And then I love really organizing events and then making things happen, connecting the dots, connecting people, bridging them. I think it comes so natural to me. And like I find joy in it as an extroverted person as well. And then it combined with my science project. So it just really kind of like aligned. I don't want to discredit my effort, but it felt easy. Like it felt so smooth sailing during that time. And even today, I really believe in like if you have a calling, yes, it won't always be a land of honey and milk, but the universe and the divine really has small spark of ways to let you know that they support you and it's for you. Like a vision in your head won't be there for nothing. So, yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Watching the steps unfold and taking them one at a time. Wonderful. You wear many hats: actress, advocate, entrepreneur, diver, creator. How do you hold all these identities together without losing the core of who you are?
I don't know. Maybe some days I am just an entrepreneur. Some days I am maybe like 80% entrepreneur, 20% daughter. So maybe it's like that, how I see it. But there's one thing that when I do it, it's 100% all the time. It's the one that you mentioned. I'm a certified scuba diver. So when I am underwater, I am just 100% scuba diver. I cannot multitask as an entrepreneur and a scuba diver 100 meters below sea level.
That's amazing. So you're wearing really multiple hats and you're wearing them in a very wholesome way. You are in it 100% when you are there. That's actually called pure awareness. And but when we say the core of who you are, so what is the core of you? Because there must be that core of you which you take to all these different hats.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know the right answer to what is my core, but every day when I wake up, I won't do something like an action that is considered as maybe work or actually in general if it will not empower another person or if it will not empower others because there's no greater empowerment than being able to empower others. So may it be as an actress, as an entrepreneur, if it is something that will empower another person, then I'll do it. Yeah, looking back, I think that's my North Star.
Coming from the Philippines, how has your cultural and geographic identity shaped your worldview, especially in how you define innovation, beauty, and responsibility?
For context, the Philippines was colonized by a lot of colonizers. The Spaniards colonized us for over 300 years. The Germans also, the Dutch, Americans, Japanese, and so many others. one culture in the Philippines that maybe has shaped me so much is the culture of we're very resourceful and hardworking because we're just given a little, but give me I always say this to others, give me droplets and I can transform it into an ocean. I don't want to glorify resilience because sometimes when we glorify resilience, we tend to overlook the real problem, which is a systemic one, like a systemic abuse or negligence of power. But I think that's a crucial characteristic that I possess because in the Philippines, again, we're used to calamities, to these kinds of problems. On how are we able to break the glass ceiling when in the beginning we're actually not taught to think big. When I went to Berlin, Germany, and last year for the Women Entrepreneurs Award, one of my goals was to widen my horizons. And one of the things that surprised me is that when I went there, when I pitched our business model and business plans, unlike here, people there were simply listening, asking questions. There was no any dash of doubt and or any limiting comments about what I'm capable of doing. Meanwhile, when I am given the chance to pitch here, that's not the scenario. Usually, the first span of conversation would be about my gender, how I look, how I talk, how I present myself, those kinds of things. So going back, yeah, we have a long way to go, but we have also gone far. And then I mentioned something not so nice because it's about colonization. But I also wanted to share one of the mentalities. It's I shared it also at Bayer Foundation before. It's called the Pawikan mentality or sea turtle mentality. In the Philippines, we have crab mentality. So crab mentality is that if you're familiar with the behavior of crabs, when they're climbing anywhere, they will innately pull each other down. Like, yeah, that's how they are. Like they want to go first. So that's a more popular mentality here in the Philippines, crab mentality. That's what they call it. So if anyone is like jealous of you, you can say, oh, that's crab mentality because they just want to pull you down. On the other hand, there is pawikan mentality or sea turtle mentality. And by the way, 5 out of the 7 species of sea turtles are found in the Philippines. Yeah. So anyway, so we have sea turtle mentality. When sea turtles hatch, they dig a hole on the sand, and then the eggs hatch. Like when they crack, the older and stronger siblings, the ones who hatch first, they wait for the others to finish hatching, and then they push the younger ones and the weaker ones out, up and out of the hole before they proceed going out. So it's the opposite of crab mentality. They push and they wait for others who are weaker than them to get out, and then they get out by themselves. So that's the last thing that I wanted to share that I think I have absorbed. I may not be the richest or wealthiest Filipina, but I use what I can and with what I have to be the change that I want to be. It sounds so cheesy, but I'm 28 and I think I can still say that I am idealistic. I'm full of hope. Our national hero Jose Rizal said, "The youth is the hope of the future." And until today, I hold onto that. And in my head, I am that hope, and that future is already today. Like when he said that during the 1800s, that future is today. So that's me. So, yeah, I think those are two things that I have absorbed coming from the Philippines, given the context and history of where we are 7,643 islands.
Oh, thank you for that info. I didn't know that. I think you've given a lot of reflection and thinking to yourself and your surroundings. Now, as a young woman leading a social enterprise, what are some of the invisible barriers you've encountered in terms of gender bias, access to funding, or simply being taken seriously?
Yes, and validated. Example, in some communities here in the Philippines, I will not actually say that we are a social enterprise because there's a stigma that when you say a social enterprise, it's charity, you don't make money, you don't have business structures. Yeah, but not all. Some are good, but the point is not everyone is on the same page. And yeah, to others, it's my quote unquote advocacy when I tell them we are an actual company, we are an actual corporation run by departments, and most are actually women leaders. So yes, I would agree to what you said.
So, Aya, coming back to Eco-Uling, Echo-Uling began as a local idea, but became a symbol of social entrepreneurship as I see it. How did you turn something as humble as charcoal into a story of empowerment and circular economy?
Okay. Thank you because I love what we do so much. By the way, for everyone's benefit, uling is the Filipino word for charcoal. And then for other countries, apparently there's no translation of charcoal. It's just carbon. I just learned. But yeah, for everyone's benefit for the translation. So that's why it's Eco-Uling because it's eco-friendly charcoal briquettes made from coconut waste, specifically coconut shells. Whenever we will sell our Eco-Uling, they buy or they purchase the businesses, the restaurants, because it's the sustainable alternative. I'm flattered because we're always told that, oh, you are revolutionizing the fuel landscape. And as much as I appreciate the compliments, to be honest, I really feel like what we're doing is just normal. I feel like it's very common sense. Why? Because cutting trees is causing flash floods. Cutting trees is causing much lives in the Philippines and deaths and deforestation, taking away the forest from our indigenous peoples. So why do we need to cut them to make charcoal when there's an available resource considered as waste, but it's an actual resource better than wood to use as charcoal, right? So I feel like it sounds weird, but we were in our inception is caused by the mission to provide livelihood, but at the same time, on the business side, in my head, actually, it's just common sense. So maybe social entrepreneurship, what we do, is just basic common sense. And we have come to a point in this world that the normal has just been so destructive that when we find an organization making profit, good to people and the planet, we think it's something extraordinary. I don't know if I'm making sense. That
Aya, this makes a lot of sense. In fact, there was a very important line a recent guest who was also a social entrepreneur and a serial one at that. He shared with me and he said, what will make lives better? And that is the way to go.
yeah, and what is your metric of what's better? And also, I think to add to what that entrepreneur said, sometimes sustainability is a trade-off. I really feel like sustainability is the only way for progress because if we keep manufacturing at the principle of solely highest revenue and lowest cost, and then at the expense of the welfare of people, then I think humanity has come to an end. And we don't function that way.
So, how did the process of evolution of Eco-Uling actually pan out?
Yeah, and then the following year, we made charcoals made from water hyacinth, the same biomass waste. And then when we started supplying restaurants, that was in 2017. They didn't like the raw material water hyacinth or water lily, what we call it here in the Philippines. So we changed it into coconut husk and then coconut shell. So right now it's coconut shell or coconut waste. And I think along the way, I was blessed to be able to meet a co-founder and then invited her in this year for us to scale. And then we went on the ground to rural farming communities on what is the reality of the supply and demand. So we did the work in studying the business. And then the next question is, okay, how are we going to be sustainable? And I'm talking about profitability. And then, okay, so we need to scale. So now, how on how we get our supply is, I think, maybe what makes the story, because we honor our suppliers, we honor our coconut farmers, we honor their struggles, their work, and at the end of the day, we give them dignity to that kind of work by fair trade, by paying the right amount. So that's why I said earlier that I feel like what we're doing is just actually should be normal. It's something that should be normal. And I dream for a day where we will no longer label social enterprises as social enterprises, because it is already the normal. That it is already normal giving above minimum wage. It is already normal prioritizing the welfare of people. It is already normal giving more opportunities to those who have less opportunities or the marginalized. So, yeah. And then thank you for this question, because I also realized the kind of story that we want to put out there. And I think that's it. That sustainability is the way for progress, and that takes so much political will. Now that we are scaling, we are talking about bigger funding, higher profile of people, bigger organizations. And you will be surprised, because not everyone has the same moral compass in terms of prioritizing welfare and providing above minimum wage or the minimum wage here in the Philippines, at least. So I think the story of upholding that kind of integrity and leadership, no matter what, that we will never be blinded by, greed. And at the end of the day, it's all about what kind of impact and movement are you creating? What is your metric of success? So, yeah, thank you for that question. It's something that I was able to reflect.
Oh, that is so beautiful. You mentioned about metrics of success. What are your metrics of success, Aya?
I think my metric for success as a person is to reach the fullest potential of the visions entrusted to me by the divine. I kind of cringe because it sounds so cheesy, but it's really that. In terms of, it's broad because it can go many ways. In terms of profit, because profit will empower our communities, our beneficiaries. Profit will give us the power to change the system or maximize the fullest potential of the vision. That can also mean influencing other big players to do the same. Another metric of success under that umbrella, that reaching the maximum potential of visions entrusted to me, How are we able to connect the dots or the cards given to me? I think that's my metric of success. And it's really a journey. It's like there's no goalpost. It's something that I wake up to every morning. What are the cards in front of me? And what is the best play I could do with these cards given to me?
Thank you for sharing that, Aya. I'm absolutely on the same page with you. And along with you, I look forward to the day when social entrepreneurship is normal and is not given that label and is entrepreneurship.
The word social enterprise or the word NGO, the word impact driven organizations. Because if you come to think of it, shouldn't it be impact driven? I think everything should be impact driven, right? So thank you for validating my late night thoughts.
Yeah, I'm so totally with you. Happy to validate your late night thoughts. It's powerful, really, how belief can become a form of energy. When someone trusts in you, it's not just support, it's validation. It actually feels amazing and a feeling of we are stronger together. It's that feeling of we instead of the I. I remember you also mentioned how validation helped you when you went for Bayer Foundation Women Entrepreneurs Award. You felt accepted just not for the work you do, but for who you are without biases, and that's amazing.
Yes, it's sad if you come to think of it, but yes. Yeah, it was such a refreshing experience. I was joking with my friends. Maybe it's really different if you are in a first world country where, yeah, people just really look on metrics, traction, those things. And meanwhile, in some part of the world, if the education system is not intact, it's still it's very, what do you call this? It's very westernized, or I don't know. It's just not grounded on our innate indigenous principles, or it's not, because our education system is still like, based from my experience, maybe not all Filipinos have the same experience, but, and also for context, I grew up, I would consider myself part of the middle class. And based from my experience here in the Philippines, given that I'm already in the middle class, my experience is still like that. It's like there's a lot of stereotypes, biases against women and what we're capable of. It's still like that. And to me, that's alarming, because what more those on the lower classes, right? So, yes, I agree to what you said. It was really a refreshing environment. It was such a healthy, functioning, light environment and empowering, I would say. At first, it's so funny because I remember there were 3 days of activities for the Women Entrepreneurs Award. First day was the awarding, and then 2 other days were given the chance to connect with others last year. And then on the first day, I remember I was very reserved. And then I realized, why am I like this? Like, it's like I'm fighting for my life and having to prove a point. And then I realized everyone's just relaxed and just everyone has an open ear, an open heart. Everyone is like-minded. So yes, it was such a good experience because it gave me a glimpse of what it should really be.
When we are born, we are already born into a diverse world. And acceptance of that diversity, as I see it, is inclusion. When you walk into a room and are seen, heard, and acknowledged, you feel a certain sense of belonging. And that is what I think you felt when you walked into that room at Bio Foundation, right?
I didn't need to be in a flight or fight mode, because sometimes here, example, if I come to a conference and I have to represent Eco-Uling as their CEO, it's always like I'm ready to prove a point because I already assume that there are gonna be people will be looking down on us first. Like there will be doubts. Like that's the initial assumption. Whereas when I went there, I realized, girl, you can chill. You can chill. You can talk about ideas without having to defend yourself or like coming from a place of needing to defend myself. So it's just so funny. Like when I talk about it with my friends that, okay, so this is how it feels like to be in a healthy environment and that I don't have to fight for my life and for our image, for our organizational perception, etc. So yeah.
That is so amazing, Aya, and so heartwarming. I'm so happy for you. That sense of self worth that you felt is tremendous.
Yes. So on point, yes. And it's so funny, like hearing us talking about this. I think it sounds so normal. It actually should be the normal. But yeah, life happens and that's not the reality here, back here. So and it's okay. We move we move forward and we just try to do our best.
I am so glad for you. It seems that it was really a turning point for you. But question is, after you went there, did you also get some partnerships?
For now, not yet, but it gave me the blueprint to be able to pitch for our upcoming seed to Series A funding. Yeah. So we're getting investors from the Southeast Asia region and locally. But my exposure there, I was able to connect with the Maddie, what's her name, from AVPN. We do not have organizational partnership, but the discussion, exposure to them we got in touch through LinkedIn and the things that they post, I read them and then that empowered me to create the next steps for the organization. So yeah, it was like going back to our first theme earlier. It was like a small spark compounding till it led to the big change. So looking back, we increased 500% in our distribution in Eco-Uling. Yeah. Before, we just had a very small factory when I won the award. And then right now, we have two factories and we are building another plant, this time industrial scale. If we are producing now an average of 50 tons, we're talking about 5,000 tons next year. And it will never end. The growth will keep coming. So I'm blessed to be exposed to the right people who gave me that spark, that catalyst of what the blueprint should be. Otherwise, we will just be chasing the typical what's instant, what's fast, what's everything fast.
That feels so wonderful, Aya, just to hear it from you. It was definitely a turning point then for you as well as for Eco-Uling. That means, as I would see it, a wheel was turned, and that is the power of an enterprise or an organization or a community or a person believing in you as a person, and I'm so happy to hear this.
Yeah, and I feel like it's also exposure to intergenerational learning because my fellow awardees, some were already in, some are mothers, some are, I think we're just the two of us were from the Gen Z, and then the others are from different generations. And not only the awardees, also the guests and during the whole entire event. So yes, I really agree on the turning point inward. And I didn't realize how important that is until the experience was given to me. So, and I hope this story, my anecdote about this, would inspire people to reflect. What if we give this experience to a child, like as early as they are children? what more can they do when we believe in them, when we allow them to think big, when we don't limit them. So again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, the Philippines was colonized, and it's deeply engraved in our culture that we are just here. In our language, hanggang dito ka na lang. In the translation is that you can only reach up to, you're just there. Stay where you are, know your place. It shouldn't be that way. But yeah, sadly, here, based from my experience, again, I'm not even living below poverty line, but that's already my experience. Know your place. So I hope my anecdote would inspire people to really empower children to think big, to dream big, and not only dream big, but also dream deep. So dream deep and dream big. That's an important thing to keep in mind.
Absolutely marvelous. In your experience, do you think that women approach leadership differently than men? And that, dear listeners, is the first part of a very interesting conversation with Aya Fernandez. As we pause here, we're left with a truth that runs quietly through Aya's journey. That social innovation is not only built on business models or sustainability frameworks, but on the courage people find when someone believes in them. In her story, you've seen how validation can become a kind of fuel, a gentle hand at the back, reminding you that your work matters, that your voice deserves space, that your impact can grow far beyond the shorelines where it began. And when that belief comes with real support from communities or mentors or organizations like in Baya's Foundation, in Aya's case, or people, it doesn't just strengthen an idea, it strengthens a person behind it, lifting both the enterprise and the inner compass that guides it. Aya's path reminds us that progress is both outer and inner, a balance of metrics and meaning, purpose, and the quiet confidence that comes from being really truly seen. Join us in part 2 as we step deeper into her reflections, beginning with a question at the heart of leadership itself: how women and men lead differently, and what intuition, identity, and empathy bring to the future that we are all trying to build.
Thank you for listening to the series Between the East and the West. Do subscribe to the channels mentioned on the site in case, of course, you liked what you heard. I am Meenu Gupta, the host of the series, and I'll be looking forward to your comments. We love feedback. Thank you once again. Namaste and bye-bye.